So I've seen policy management space evolve significantly in the past, I would say, 12 to 18 months. Typically, policy management use cases were centered around bandwidth management, network resource management, basically avoiding congestion in the network. And what we see today is that policy management gradually but very strongly becoming an arsenal for revenue monetization. So the first generation of policy management which service providers have employed or deployed, I would say, was kind of based on their network resource management or bandwidth management requirements. Many of those solutions were homegrown. Many of them were bought by pure play from pure play policy vendors, as well as some of them were also came part of the packet core evolution, so came from the network equipment providers. They were focused on very singular use cases, and those, to extend that for these revenue monetization use cases we are talking about, which are much more sophisticated, will be very, very difficult. Our survey clearly proves people who have tried doing that have failed. And many of the reasons why they give us is because they end up wasting a lot of money, time, and effort trying to integrate the old legacy policy management with their charging platforms. Some people who had to drop the project midway because it wasn't giving the desired results, were spending a lot of money. The others who at least managed to get over it said that the end solution looked very, very inflexible. It did not help them to roll out a lot more use cases, and the time to market, that didn't help either. So technically or theoretically it's possible, but practically speaking, it's just not, it doesn't make sense. So typically the policy decisions were enforced or guided or dictated by the network team. And that happened because it was part of the packet core evolution, it was part of network transformation projects. What we are seeing or witnessing today are the type of services which are being rolled out has a big impact on how service providers' revenue monetization strategies are taking out. So they need to be able to, this service providers dictating policy from the network side needs to evolve. It needs to be part of a cross-functional team between network and IT who needs to create those policies. Because what are the newer use cases? We are talking about congestion management, we are talking about tiered pricing models, we are talking about subsidization models or targeted advertising models and so on. If you think about it, a lot of those have integration with network and the IT functions. And a lot of that has to again go into how the service is provisioned, how the services are rolled out, how the services are built for. So the trajectory or the paradigm shift which needs to happen is the network facing function, which used to be policy management, now needs to be part of a cross-functional team, which needs to be handled by both network and IT side. Policy definitely becomes the bridge which kind of brings together the network and IT side of the house. Network policies are important and critical because you're talking about network resources. But you're also talking about commercial products and services which have got policies on top of that, be it at the subscriber level, be it at the service level or whatever. So we're triggering commercial products or provisioning services which have got policy parameters which are dictating how network resources are reserved, what kind of entitlements the subscribers are having. So all of these together means that you cannot just have network guys dictating policy, or you cannot just have IT guys doing it. So it needs to be that team together who defines how products are rolled out, how services are rolled out, what packages are being rolled out, what kind of entitlements are created, and so on. So the bridge, policy will play a pretty critical role in being the bridge between network and IT. The next step in this whole evolution is really going beyond just the network resource or the bandwidth management to revenue optimization. The bigger step, I think, is organizational. Network and IT team needs to come together. Only then, when we talk about these evolutionary business models, will that come into play. The other part is also on the solution. We understand policy and charging are critical elements of that, but there are other elements which needs to be part of this to have this whole vision come into fruition. And that involves subscriber data management, catalog, and so on, and the other elements of that. So at the end of the day, it's the end-to-end life cycle view of data services. From the time it's created, from the time it's provisioned to the time it gets deactivated. And you have subscriber visibility. And all of that has to happen when you bring network and IT teams together to create these things. I think makes a significant statement for the market. First of all, it brings in IT elements of charging policy, network-facing policy, as well as business rules-based policy all together. The other big thing, I think, which is a productized solution. So you guys are coming out with use cases out of the box. That's pretty significant, because whenever we talk to service providers, and our research have proved over and over again, service providers are getting asked by the marketing and business people to come out with much more innovative data plans, and they wanted to roll it out fast. So I think this solution will enable them to do that. Other part of this element is to be having the embedded catalog, or the enterprise product catalog, which is part of your DES offering, because that helps to define the product, price for the product, and also roll out the product much more effectively from a much more of a centralized location. Also helps to manage single product definition and service definition in one area. All of this, I think, makes a significant impact to the market. And coming from Amdocs, obviously the scalability of the solution, is unquestionable. So all of that, I think, is a huge help for the service providers.